I'm going to turn now to the political firestorm growing in North Carolina after a horrific murder on a train. Over the weekend, the local metro authority released surveillance video showing the murder of Ukrainian refugee Irina Irutska. Police say she was riding on a train in Charlotte last month when the suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., pulled out a pocket knife and killed the 23-year-old. Brown is now facing first-degree murder charges. He's been committed to a hospital for a judge to do a mental evaluation for 60 days. CNN has also reached out to his defense attorney for comment. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy claimed the incident shows the ugly truth behind the criminal justice policies of the city's mayor. Elon Musk posted about the story several times and called to name and shame the judges who allowed the suspect to walk free.
Chilling video lighting up social media this weekend. It is disturbing to watch. It shows 23-year-old Irina Zarutska. She's a refugee from Ukraine, boarding Charlotte, North Carolina's light rail train just after 9:45 p.m. on August 22nd. She's sitting, scrolling on her phone. A man in a red hoodie is sitting behind her. After 4 minutes, he casually and unpredictably pulls out a knife and stabs her 3 times. The suspect, DeCarlos Brown Jr., is a career criminal with 14 arrests, at least 14 arrests. And those convictions, they date back more than a decade, including arrests for felony larceny, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and communicating threats. After serving 5 years for a 2014 robbery, he was back on the street. 5 months later, in 2020, he was arrested for assaulting his sister. Again, quickly back on the street. This past January, North Carolina Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes granted Brown release after his arrest for misuse of the 911 system, based upon the release, a written promise that he would return for his court hearing. That case, by the way, pending when he boarded the light rail last month. Also stunning, support for these kinds of criminals. Look at this. It's a now removed GoFundMe page for the suspect. It reads, quote, "While what happened on the Blue Line was a tragedy, what we mustn't lose sight of is the fact that DeCarlos Brown Jr. was failed categorically by the judicial system and the mental health services of North Carolina, and as such is not entirely to blame for what happened. Mental health has become a catch-all for this country to excuse the greatest of our sins. By blaming the system, she absolves responsibility for DeCarlos Brown."
You know what's worse than her murder? According to Bryans, it's posting on social media. That's where he concentrated his concern, his antipathy. And then he says, but it's okay to question it as long as you're Bryans, a fat white guy who should be fired again at CNN.
This actually happened last month. It only gained national news attention here in the past couple of days. Why is that?
Right, most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings. In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. He said he would get briefed, and then today Trump did know all about it. That's exactly what has happened here. This story has trickled up from local news to social media and now to the president's attention. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman. The open racism on sites like X today, it's eye-popping. But there are also legitimate questions about this so-called career criminal, someone who had been a repeat offender. And those questions, I hope they're not lost amid all of the cesspool kind of comments on social media.
He is one of the reasons why these crimes happen, because anytime you dare question crime, it's jerks, scumbags like him that call you a racist. I'm tired also of the term mental illness being used as a cover for criminality. When a thug targets a woman, that is not insane. He knows she's weaker. When he comes from behind with a knife, that's not insane. He minimizes her ability to inflict harm on him. When the thug flees, That's sane because he knows if he stays, he'll be arrested. So what would be insane would be if he were to face off against a man without a weapon, somebody like a Tyrus. That would be insane. You'd go, okay, that's crazy. But almost all of these people that do this stuff, they go after women.
Let's start this by saying, Irina Zhuravutska, to her family and her friends, our condolences extended to her. Anybody with any empathy, any humanity, who's not a psychopath, doesn't like what happened, what this guy did. I don't even want to say what happened, because that makes it sound like it's an act of natural something. No, this was a person's will onto another person. He did that shit. Fox News will always be the cheap shot show, huh? I don't even know this first guy. But you talked about a GoFundMe for this guy. Dog, it had $5 in it. $5 by some bleeding heart person who wanted to make a statement. They only did it so that you'd read that comment, because that's the only person that gave any money to it. A person that wanted to make a statement about mental health. Greg Gutfield. When Greg Gutfield goes on his rant where he's putting it down about how he's tired of mental health being an excuse. Yeah. Were you saying that when the in Buffalo, New York, when the white kids shot up the supermarket and killed all those black people? I'm just asking. I mean, if you were consistent, I give you that. If you were consistent, and you actually said, hey, screw this mental health crap. When Dylan Roof went into the church and shut up the parishioners who were praying. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gone back to look, Gutfield, but is that very gutsy of you to call out something? In this case, we won't call it out in all cases. Let's be consistent. Now, here's the part where we get very daring on this show, fam. Now, right now, this is where you should not go for popcorn. Don't take a bathroom break. When I first was preparing to do this story, I was prepared to say all the same old shit that Mark Lamont Shield would say. Yeah, the same stuff that Reese Colbert would spit out. The same garbage Roland Martin would say. And then I said, you better not do that, Tim. You better not do that. Paul Mooney told me not to do it. Said, damn it, Tim Black. Don't do it, Tim. Be better than them. Be better or never talk to me again, Tim Black. And I mean that shit. Fine. I'm happy. I'm happy they're calling this out. I'm happy that white America is standing up and saying, you know what? When a black man gets shot by a cop, it's everywhere. And when a white woman, even if she's a Ukrainian and not a U.S. citizen, they've already proven they don't care if you're American or not. As long as you look white, they care. Hence why we got a bunch of South Africans in Detroit. Compliments of Elon Musk and Trump. I digress. Back to my point. I am happy that white men are saying this. Yeah, Charlie Kirk, run up the numbers on this thing. Tim Pool, do the same thing. Yes, my brother, Pat Bet David, you ain't white, but you checking on your senses. Run them numbers up, baby. Hodge Twins, you are black, but you want to be so white you can taste it. You and Jesse Lee Peterson, you go, brother. Look, run the numbers up on it. Make this a thing. Because you know what? Good. Because see, once I get black people to realize cops don't kill that many black people, then we can focus on money. Yeah. We can start focusing on money. See, if I get black people to stop being distracted by George Floyd cases, the horrific cases of Tyree Nichols or Tamir Rice, as horrific as they are, the Sandra Bland cases, the Breonna Taylors, when we can finally say, hold up, these are one-offs, they're bad, we need justice, but we ain't gonna take our eye off this damn money. As soon as I get your message to really, truly permeate, for it to penetrate and get into the thick skulls of the Democratic liberal brainwashed zombies, then I can have them focus on the money. Yeah, because see, right now, you got us focused on the first level, survival. As if every black person's being hunted. Like we have not moved an inch since the 1800s. The Democrats have successfully hornswoggled black people into believing that every black person is 2 seconds away from being shot by a cop. This works against what I'm trying to get us to do, and it works against the ultimate goal, which I think should be reparations. Yeah, reparations. We need to get back to the money, the investment in the black community based on the repair that needs to be done due to a government that did the shit America did to black people. Hell, if you ask me, the Democratic Party owes us reparations for all them damn votes we gave them. But see, I can't get them to focus on that. Because every 2 seconds, CNN and MSNBC are pointing at a black mother crying her eyes out about her child. And then we go again. Then we got to vote defensively. We got to vote to save us from the cops and from the orange Hitler. See, I want us to get past these things. So unlike a lot of people, I'm not going to point at this and say, these racists. They may be. They may be a lot of things. I don't care. F you, pay me. I don't care what you are. Look, I never asked you to like me. You ain't got to like me. But you got to pay this bill, though. See, we need to be off that part. So if Temple and the Turning Point USA, Candace Owens, the whole squad want to come out, if Officer Tatum and all the rest of them, if Megyn Kelly, Megyn, she's still talking. If Megyn Kelly and Dave Rubin, if they want to sit around, they want to talk about this story, and they want to focus on the idea and get that motion going on this whole thing about the poor white guys, poor white America, and the bad reporting of CNN and MSNBC that plays black people as the victims of cops and the victims of crime. Yeah. Good. Let's get us off that, fam. Let's get us off that. Let's get us on the money. Let's get the boomers and the Gen Xers that got common sense, all the people with common sense, and let's move us beyond that. Let's move us to a place where we say, okay, you're right. You know what? You're right, Johnson. You're right. There's not that many cop shootings. So that's just that we know of, that we can prove. Cops don't have to report their shootings. So what the numbers are, we don't know what the numbers are, but whatever it is, fine. Maybe we could say, okay, you know what, guys, let's move on to something else. And that something else should be money. It should not be driving while black, talking while black, being black while being black. Let's talk about money in the pocket. Let's talk about investments in our communities, investments in those who've been harmed by being descendants of slavery. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 100 years of Jim Crow, the 50 years of mass incarceration that ensued. Let's talk about those numbers. Let's talk about the real compensation needs to be dealt out. Because if we don't control what the media reports, it ain't on us that this story didn't get traction. Once again, there's a million stories that happen every day, fam. And there are worse stories than this. Trust me. Stories I don't even want to say on this show, on this live stream. You understand what I'm saying? That does not excuse this person who said he was hearing voices. Voices have started taking over his body. Someone implanted something. I've heard people that have mental disorders make these claims before, man. This person believes somebody put something in their body that is controlling them and making them do things. He believed that before he did this. He didn't start saying that now. And the fact that you have a guy who sat with a person and said, a person of the state, a person in the capacity to do something, and he told them, I think I'm being controlled by a box that's been put up my ass, telling me to do things. Something's taking over my body. Something's got me. I'm a remote control. They got me. The fact that someone heard him say that, he said that out of his mouth, and they didn't do anything, or maybe there was nothing they could do. I don't know. I can't say they chose not to do anything. Nothing was done. I know Greg Gutfeld, Charlie Kirks, and Elon Musk don't want that to be an issue. That's because they really don't want problems solved. They just want Trump to be able to go up in these cities and use this as a reason why he can do it. That's all. They don't really care about this woman. I care more about Miss Zarathustra than they do. Yeah, I care more about her than they do. They don't care. They could give a damn, and they could care less about future Zarathustras, and they give less than a damn about Debrina Kawam, who got burnt up on the subway, and you know damn well they do not care about Dakar Thompson. Dakar Thompson is a 19-year-old woman who was thrown off a bridge in Maryland by Hugo Hernandez Mendez, an undocumented person. We don't do inconvenience on this show. We don't do convenience on this show. We do the truth. We can't cover everything, but when we cover it, we cover it. To become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack, go to jointimblack.com. I can't guarantee you a lot of things, but I can guarantee you when we having a conversation, we having a conversation. And when I'm talking, when I'm doing my thing, whatever, you may disagree with me, but it ain't coming out of no damn Democratic or Republican playbook. It's how I actually see it. And when I give you facts, to the best of my damn ability, they are accurate. And if I'm wrong, I'll correct it. Wolfpack.
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.